uh, what is an operator, how X group is related to with the operator. We have seen that and how to create the operators. Today we will see like a new topic. What is a rule set and rule set version, and what is the use of that one, and how to use that. What are the different concepts? With that we will see now. So everything in Pega is a rule. So we discussed like rule is a building block here. So we need to store all these rules somewhere. So if you take Java programming, so we are storing Java Java classes somewhere else in some container or some repository. So here also we need to store the rules. So to store the rules, we will use the rule set. That is why the rule set definition will be like this. Rule set is a collection of rules. Let me check whether it is available here. Rule set, the standard definition. It's not there. Yeah. A rule set is a collection of rules which forms part of the application. So this is a simple definition. So rule set is a collection of rules which forms a part of the application and will be used to manage the rules. So rules will contain some rules. That's why we call them as a collection of the rules. And we are saying it is a part, and it forms the part of the application. That means that there may be many number of rule sets, and each rule set having rules. That means that each rule set is forming the part of the application. So all the rule sets will form the full application, and each rule set is forming the part of the application. And we use this for managing the rules. When I say managing the rules, you can create the rules. You can store the rules in the rule set. You can delete the rules from the rule set, or you can update the rules in the rule set. So we can do all these things once the data is stored in the rule set. And then rule set version. A rule set version will be in the form of XX, YY, ZZ. There is no standard definition for this. So without rule set, there is no version basically. In general, when you're talking about rule set, it is combination of rule set and rule set version. So in general terminology, when I talk something like rule set, it is combination of rule set and its versions. But if I want to specifically talk about rule set and version, I will be talking like this. So rule set version will be in the form of XX, YY, ZZ. Here XX stands for major version, YY stands for minor version, and ZZ stands for batch version. So the actual rules will be stored in the rule set version, not in the rule set directly. So there will be multiple versions like this. Major version is there, minor version is there, batch version is there, and each version will start with 01 and ends with 99. The complete syntax will be like this. Let's say example is ABC colon 01 02, let's say 01 02 03. Here ABC is the rule set name. So this is the rule set, and 01 02 03 is a rule set version, and each version will start. So here 01 is a major version, and 02 is a minor version, and 03 is a patch version. So why do we need versioning? Basically, you may get a doubt, why do we need versioning? So directly why can't we store in the rule set, and why do we need versioning, and we will store it here. The versioning will support the one of the OOPS concepts. The first one is overriding. So overriding is a concept, is a one of the OOPS concepts. To support that, we need the versioning. How it will support the OOPS concepts? Let's take an example. Let's say I am creating one rule to just, let's say, build some sum of two properties, summation of two things. So initially, so let's say my rule set is like this, ABC. So initially I stored the rules in 01 01 01. I stored the rules, so because everyone will start with 01 01 01. So I stored this, whatever the I written one logic in one rule, and I stored that rule in this rule set. Okay, my rule set name is summation, let's say. So my rule name is summation. So I saved this summation rule in this version 01 01 01. So later I came to know that the summation is correct one, but I referred wrong properties in the summation. I need to rectify that. Let's say here I need to summation of two properties, let's say x and y. So while saving the rule in this 01 01 01 version, I use, instead of y, I use z. Let's say there are different properties will be there in the system. So by mistake I used x plus z instead of x plus y. So I need to rectify that, right? I need to rectify that. So to rectify that, so we can save this the same. So if the rule set is law, there are different concepts associated with that. We'll see one by one. We can save as the same. We can save the rule in the other version like 01 01 and 03. So you can use any number here. You can increase the patch version to, it's not like you need to follow the sequential manner. You can use 01 and then you can go for 05. You can go for 010. You can go for like that. So in the 03 version, I corrected the formula like summation of, I corrected here like summation of x plus y. So during execution, so what system will do? System will always pick up the latest version. Here what I am doing, basically I am using the same rule, I am just changing the logic. That means that I am overriding it. I am overriding the existing rule in the what other rule is there in the 01 01 01, and I am on top of that I am modifying it. Modifying it means overriding. So in the overriding, what will happen is, so the rule name will be same. That means that the syntax is same. The syntax is there and semantics is same. Just we are changing the logic inside that. The syntax, the generally called the signature. The signature of the rule is same, but we are just changing the body of the rule. So that is called overriding. So during execution, the system will always pick the latest version for that rule. So instead of, so why do we need versioning? I will take two scenarios. One is in development environment. So I recommend even in the development environment we follow the this what we call versioning, and in production environment. So let's say this is a production environment. So the production, that means that I developed one product. So let's say my product name is some test framework, test application is my
Hello, Subhash. Hello.
sorry, I was speaking on mute. Sorry. Hello? Hello, are
Yeah,
you able to
yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, now we are able to.
Okay. So I will take this example. One is production and one is development. So first we'll talk about production. In the production, let's say I developed one product using Pega, and then I released it into market with the ABC01. Let's take same example only, and with the 01010101. And then once the product is released into market, so while releasing, what I will do, I will lock everything. So whatever the rule set I created, I will lock everything, and then I will release into market. So however, let's say if you take Microsoft is a product. So you will get some issues. So once you use the product in you identify some issues in the Microsoft OS and you intimate them. Right here also same thing. So you started customers start using the application. So they identified that we refer the wrong properties in the summation. I mean instead of XY, I use XZ, and I need to rectify that. That is the problem in the product logic, and I need to rectify that. To rectify that, so because we already locked it, so we're releasing the product, we lock each and everything with the proper passwords and everything, and we release it into market. So I need to rectify that. So because I need to rectify that, I cannot open this rule set. So once I locked it, I should not open it, and I should not use the same password to open it. And what I would do, I will create a one more rule set version like this. I will create a one more rule set version. We call them as a patch. We created, so that is why you can use this word like patch. So Microsoft also provides some patches. So whenever some issues are there, to fix them, Microsoft will provide patches. Here also Pega provide patches to address your issues. So to address your issues, we are providing the patches. We are providing the patches, and on the patch, whatever the logic you are writing, we are providing that logic in 010103, and the same rule is rectified here. You should here I'm using the correct logic, and again I will create the patch, and then I will lock it this one again 010103, and I will release into market. So customers will start installing that patch, and then after installation, so they have two versions, 010101 is there, 010103 is there. Both the versions are available in the system. So during execution of the application, they cannot see the issue because system will always pick the latest version. The latest version for this rule is available in 010103, so this rule will pick up. So while providing the patch, I don't copy each and every rule again. Whatever the issue, wherever the issue is there, only that rule I will address in the 010103. Let's say I have total 100 rules in this application. Okay, and I have issue only with one rule. So let's say that the rule is summation rule. So with the, I have assumed only with summation rule, I will only copy this, I will only rectify this summation rule only in 010103. That means that in 010103 only one rule will be available. One rule will be available here, 100 rules will be there. So here in the 100 rules I have the summation rule as well. That means that summation rule is available here and here both in both the places. But during runtime, the system will always check the latest version per the rule. So for the summation rule, the latest version is 010103. For other rules, the latest version is 010101 only. So during execution, it will pick up the correct version and then it will execute it. So once you install the patch, the issue is rectified. So in those cases, we use the versioning in the production environments. Any doubts here? So now we will see development. So I recommend using even development environment also versioning. So where do we need it? Let's take an example. I will take two scenarios. If you are not following versioning, and here you are following versioning. You are following versioning. Let's say I want to build the product which contains 10 features. Okay, 10 features are there in the product. I want to build that one by one. So as I said, in Pega we follow the agile methodology, and then for each iteration I want to build one feature. Okay, let's assume like that. In each iteration, so I am building one feature. That means that I need to take 10 iterations for building the 10 features. Okay, in the first iteration I started it. Iteration 1. So we need to create some rules. Definitely I need to store the rules in one rule set version. So I am creating the version name as def 010101. Let's say I am creating the rule here. I am creating some 10 rules. Let's say I will keep it the brackets 10 rules. Because I am not following versioning here, for the first iteration is over, I go for second iteration. In iteration 2 also, I am not creating one more version. Iteration 2 also, because I am not in this scenario I am not following versioning. So in iteration 2 also will create 0101. We will use the same version only because we are not following. Let's say here in iteration 2 I am creating 15 rules. So the total rules 15 means already 10 is there. I am creating only 5 here in this because we are using same version. Because I am saying total rules here. So total rule is 15. That means that I am creating 5 more rules here. Let's say during iteration 1 I found some issue. During iteration testing, so whatever the logic I have written, I found some iteration 2. So during iteration 1 testing I didn't find any issue, but during iteration 2 I found some issue with iteration 1 logic, iteration 1 related rules logic. So as a developer I need to rectify that. So I rectified that and I saved into same rule set because that is just we are not maintaining versioning. So I just rectify it and keep it like that. Let's assume that is a big logic. That is a big logic. It's not like a summation, because we may end up creating a complex logic as well. So let's assume there is a big complex logic is there. I rectified that and I found that I fixed that one. So I came to iteration 10 like that, iteration 3, iteration 4 like that. I came to iteration 10. During iteration 10, so iteration 10 also I'm not following versioning, so it will use same version 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, and total rules, let's say 100. So in iteration 10, when I come to iteration 10, I came to know that whatever the issue identified in the iteration 1, that is not a valid issue. In the iteration 10, I came to know that whatever the issue I identified in the iteration 1, it is not a valid issue. The fix is not required for that. We unnecessarily fixed that. The fix is not required. I need the older code only. I need the older code. In that case, what you can do? So you already fixed that, because you are not entering versioning. So you lost the previous, whatever the code you have, you lost that code. So you will be having latest code only. But I need the older code. So the latest code is not required. So whatever the older one is there, that is required for me, because the fix is not required for that. The issue is not valid. Here there is no way of doing that one. But there are certain ways, but you need to spend some time to go to older version. And moreover, if you say like D1, let's say by the time I created iteration 10, I can see total 100 rules are there. Total 100 rules are there. So if someone asks me how many rules we created in iteration 1, there is no answer, because after iteration 10, everything is clubbed here. We are not separating this iteration 1 rule, iteration 2 rule. So we are saving each and every rule for each and every iteration in the same rule set version. So if I want to know how many rules we created in iteration 1, we cannot tell that. So in iteration 2 we cannot tell that. So because we are clubbing all the rules in each iteration, so at the end of iteration, so we cannot tell how many rules are created in each iteration. That is one more disadvantage if you don't follow the versioning. You cannot fix the issue. That is one thing. You cannot go back. If it is a simple logic, you can manually edit that. That is fine. But if it's a complex logic, because we are taking 2 weeks for each iteration, so iteration 10 means 20 weeks. The developer may forget the whatever they have written for the previously. There is a chance for that. Or else he need to spend more time. To write the same logic again. To avoid these scenarios, let's take the same scenario in your following versioning. In iteration 1, I am using 01, 01, 01. In iteration 2, I am following versioning because so I am using 01, 01, 02. So here by the time iteration 10, def 01, 01, 10. On each version, so I am following different version, I can easily identify how many rules I am creating. So each version, I can see the count of the rules. Here 5 rules. Here, let's select this again. Easily, because we are following different versions, each version will give me the number of rule count. Now coming to the first issue, in iteration 1, the same issue if you take, in iteration we identified some issue, so we fixed that issue in iteration 2. That means that I fixed that issue in this version 01, 01, 02. I am not touching the older version. Older version is still available, but I am creating this. I am rectifying that issue in new version called 01, 01, 02. So if in iteration 10, if the fix is not required, what we will do? So whatever the fix we did in this version, iteration 2, we will withdraw that one. So we can withdraw the rule, so it will go for older version. Already older version is available. You don't need to spend more time. You don't need to think about it. What we have written earlier. So you can just withdraw this rule, latest version. from 010102, system will automatically pick the latest version. So when you, because you are withdrawing from here, the next latest version is available here only, right? It will pick up that version only. You don't need to worry about that. Already we have older version and already we have new version here. So during development, the system will automatically pick up here. So once you clear this, so this is during development I am saying. So once the development is over, you need to release the product into market. So some projects I have seen in some systems, they are releasing the product into market with the same number of versions. But that is not recommended. We need to skim it. So in the production environment, in the production environment, I should see only one version. Like, and it see, let's say DEF 01. I can write like, I'll increase the minor version now. So again 01 likes. So what is this major and minor version? So we should not increase the major and minor version each and every time. So we can increase the patch version during development. So we should not increase the major and minor version in the patch during development. Only while releasing, you need to rename it. So how can you rename it? Let's say if you have major changes in the application, increase the major version. If you have minor changes in the application, increase the minor version. Or patch version for the development or for the providing the hot fixes or the patches. So if you see, even for Microsoft will providing Microsoft 6, Microsoft 7, Microsoft 10 like that, right? So increase the major version based on the features they are providing. If they are providing the major features, you can increase the major version of the application at a rule set here. So for providing major version, go increase one by one like this, 01, 02, 01, 01. If you have minor versions, like say, so you once you release the product into market, so you want to include some more features. So in that case, what you can do, you can increase the minor version like 02, 02, 01. So like that, I need to increase the major and minor version, but patch version is just for development convenience. During development, we'll increase the patch version, or else if you want to provide the patches. So once the product release into market, and if you want to fix those issues, we'll increase the patch version. But if you're providing minor features in the application, in the product, so you can increase the minor version. And if you have major impact or a major changes in the application in the product, you can increase the major version. That is how we need to increase the major and minor version. So but directly we cannot increase the major and minor version. So patch version I will show you that one as well. So patch version you can directly create in the system, by you can increase the system. But if you want to increase the major and minor version, you have to go for a skimming. So what is a skimming? A skimming is a process of taking highest version rule and keep it in the destination rule set. So generally, to increase the major version and minor version, we go for skimming process. So what is skimming saying? It will take the highest version of each and every rule and keep a destination rule set. Let's say my destination rule set is this one, DEF. So because I have these features are very I mean, this is the all features are new features. I want to increase the major version. So I am creating 010101. So during development I am using 0101, but during once release in the market, so already 0101 is there in the market. So I'm adding 10 more features on top of that one. So I'm increasing my major version. And now what system will do? System will take the highest version of each and every rule. So we have 10 rule set here, 10 rule set versions. So let's say on each version we have 10 rules here, and some rules can be overridden, right? It will always take the highest version of each and every rule and keep that rule into this destination rule set, DEF 02020101. So here we will be having one version while releasing into market. I will lock this rule set, and then I will release that into market.
Hey Subhash, Venkat here.
Yep.
If you go for the skimming, will it create the new highest version, or else will it pick the available highest version from the
Available
list?
highest version. It's not like creating, it won't create anything, it will pick up the highest version of each and every rule. In the,
Okay.
this is the destination rule set. This
Okay.
is not the source.
No, because here, okay, while you're explaining skimming rule set, you changed the major version number. That's what I'm asking this question.
So this is the destination rule set because, so I am releasing the product into market. So as I said, you can increase the major version and minor version based on the changes you are doing in the product.
Okay.
So I am adding 10 features. That is a major change for me. So this is up to the business. So it's not, there is no rule like when do we increase major version, when do we increase the minor version. The business will decide. So based on the changes you are doing, let's say Microsoft is providing Microsoft 10, and earlier they have Microsoft 8. They renamed Microsoft 10. They're not releasing 8.1, 8.2 because they felt like they have major changes. That is why they renamed the product and they released it. So here also same thing. If you have a major changes, you can increase the major version. If you have a minor changes, let's say once Microsoft 10 is there, they provide some more service packs. So for every 2 years or 1 year, they will provide some more service packs. The service packs is a minor changes, right? So here also, if you have minor changes, you can increase the minor version or the major version. So based on the generally business will decide that. So whether you are going for major or minor release. Major release means you need to increase the major version. So minor release means you can increase the minor version. Based on the release type, you need to increase this major and minor. Okay, for both, if you want to increase the major and minor, for both you need to go for skimming only. During development, I will use this, let's say in the market already this version is there. So 010101, that is the first release for me. Let's say I release the market and product, in that I am using this version. So on top of
Okay,
already
here,
some product.
Subhash, here I have one more question. So in the iteration 2, if you come for the, okay, you are following the versioning concept, okay? So if I export the iteration 2 version like 010102, we modified only 5 rules. What about the rest of the 5 rule references? Because it's required the references also, right? Because totally they modified as part of the version 1 10 rules, right?
No, here this is the
What about the references concept?
So I will tell you. That is a good question basically. Let's
Because
say
in the Java, so if you modified the any Java class also, dependency class also, we have to export again, right?
so here that kind of export is not required. Let's say, so let's say here I will make it like this. 10 new rules are created here. I'm saying new rules, and here 5 new rules are created and 2 rules are overridden. Overridden means from the version 1 I modify that. When I say overridden, so already that rule is there in 01, I am overriding that here. Okay, already 5 new rules are there and 2 new rules are overridden here. Now whenever you modify you are modifying only these 2 rules, but remaining 8 rules will be here only. So 8 rules are untouched here. So 8 rules are untouched here. We are not touching the stem because we don't have any issue with that. Only we have issue with 2 rules. I modified them in the iteration 2. The 8 rules will be there here only. During skimming, what it will do? I am saying each and every rule to take the highest version. For these 2 rules, it will take from iteration 2 because the highest version is available for these 2 rules. But remaining 8 rules are there here only. So it will take from there only and keep it here. So coming to references, so that is, there is a concept of rule set stack. You will get to know that one. So because already how system will be here, like will work like this here is, let's say 010101 is there here, 010102 is there, right? So the 02 version system will always go for highest version here. What system will do internally is system will compile all the rules. Whatever you have in the 01 whatever you have in 02, it will compile all the things and then it will go for 02. The 02 version will have access to 01 as well, the lowest versions. So if you have, if you go to 99, 01, 01, 99, the 99 version have access to all the below numbered versions. Like if your system will always go for highest version, but highest version will have access to the all the below numbered versions. So the 99 version, even if you refer, let's say, I'll take a simple example. X property is there and Y property is there and summation is there. Summation of X property X plus Y. So the summation I am doing here, but X and Y are different rule set. Because 99 version have access to all the versions without any issue, I can calculate X plus Y. Okay, but this reverse is not possible. Let's say I have X and Y here, X is here and Y is here, and if I want to find summation here, so I have, so this 01 don't have access to 02, 099 because this is the, this is on top of the 01. You cannot access from the higher number. So it gives an error. So the highest version will always have the access to the below numbered versions. We'll discuss that one in the rules stack. One more topic I'm going to discuss. So
one more question I have: if I go and export the second iteration rule set, okay, so okay, so but the first rule set version is not deployed into my production. Let us assume I have two different production systems. It should not be in real time, but let us assume. Okay, if I directly deploy the 02, will it work out?
No, it won't work. So
it
because
work, right? So all the previous versions also should be installed, right?
Yes, definitely. So during development, whatever you did, so generally it won't happen. Moreover, definitely so many rules will be overridden. It's not like here I'm taking 2 rules, but in real time it's not like 2 rules. So many times some issues will be identified during testing. So let's say people are doing when I'm developing iteration 2, people start testing iteration 1. The testers will start testing iteration 1. So they will identify some issues, they will raise the bugs. So because iteration is already over during development, I don't touch this rule set again. We'll create one more rule set 02, and whatever the issues they identified for fixing them, I need to modify some rules. So I need to override that one, right? Whatever the rules I have written in the 01. So I will create here. Like that, by the time you iteration 10, many rules will be overridden. So without all the versions, so the features won't work because we have the rules are scattered in each and every rule set version. So there may be a lot of dependency. So if you deploy just one iteration, one iteration related rules, it won't work out. So if you just deploy iteration 2, the iteration 2 related stuff will be there in multiple versions, right? So here, if you want to follow that scenario, what you can do is, again, one more approach is there. So based on the approach, you can decide. So for each iteration, you can fix one rule set. Even if issues are there, you want to fix there only. So in iteration 1, you are creating 0101, and you don't, in iteration 2 also, if you identify any issue in iteration 1, you don't want to override it. You want to save in the same rule set version, 010101. That means that all the iteration 1 work will be there in 01, all the iteration 2 work will be there in 02, all the iteration 10 work will be there in 010. So in that case, you can deploy 02 because there is no dependency. So based on the approach how you are taking, based on that you can, if that is your requirement, each iteration you want, each iteration you want to deploy, in that case you can, even without overriding, you can fix the issue in the same rule set version.
Okay.
In that case, without, there is no dependency, you can directly deploy this 010101. Now here I am saying, as per definition I am saying, each rule set is forming the part of the application. That means that there will be number of rule sets. So where do we need number of rule sets? So whenever you create a new application in Pega 7, so by default system will create 4 rule sets. 4 rule sets, we call them as application rule set, application integration rule set and organization rule set, organization integration rule set. So we can create one rule set, we can store all the rules in one rule set only. But system is creating 4 rule sets. I'm not talking about versions, I'm talking about rule sets. System, whenever you create new application, system is creating by default 4 rule sets. Where do we need that? One rule set is enough, right? Where do we need that? So the answer here is reusability. The answer is reusability. To increase the reusability, instead of creating a lump sum of rules in the one rule set, we can create a smaller chunks. So a rule set A, B, C, D are there. So you can store some rules in rule set A, you can store some rules in rule set B, some rules in rule set C, so that I can easily manage it first of all, and then wherever I want to use this rule sets, I can reuse it. So how this can be reusable? Let's take an example here. Let's say I want to build, so there is one organization, some ABC Corporation is there. So ABC Corporation is my organization, and this I mean ABC Corporation is there, and this organization want to build 2 applications in Pega. 2 applications in Pega. So they want to build on top of Pega only. So they want to build, this is base version Pega PRPC. On top of that, they want to build application app1 and app2. App1 and app2. Now if you see, it's for ABC Corporation, if you see here, some rules will be applicable for entire organization. Let's take a scenario like organization logos. Organization logos will be common on entire organization. You may create 10 number of applications, no matter. So the rules will be common. The logo is same, the logging mechanism may be same, the customer details may be same. There may be lot of commonality across organization, across organizational applications. In those case, what system will do? System will store all these rules. Whatever rules are there are applicable for entire organization. We need to store those rules in the organization rule sets. So we need to store, if something is reusable across organization system, we need to store those rules in the organization rule set. So what is the benefit of this storing organization rule set is, we don't need to create the same rules again for, let's say while creating application 1, I stored some rules in the organization rule set. For application 2, I don't need to create them again because the organization is same, organization rule set is also same, this application rule sets will be different. Application rule sets will be different, organization rule sets will be same for a second application. I don't need to replicate the same rules again. That means I am reusing the rules. Whatever the rules I am creating as part of the rule set 1, which are reusable across organization, I can reuse the same rules again in the application 2. So that is why we are going for reusability. So whatever the rules are specific across organization, we can store those rules like organization logos, so logging mechanism will be same for each and every organization. They don't differentiate for each and every application. So those kind of integration, logging integration you can do in the organization rule sets only. Or else, let's say you want to customer information. Customer information will be same across organization. There won't be different in customer information. So whichever you feel is applicable for entire organization. It's not specific to application. It's specific to organization. You can store them in the organization rule set. Then whatever the rule says, let's take an example here. Organization name is ABC, ABC, and application name, this is application 1, APP1. So now what system will do? System will create this rule sets like this. App1 is my application rule set. App1 int is my application integration rule set. So ABC is my organization rule set. System will create the same naming convention, IBC int. So this is the 4 rule system will create for the app. If you give the application name as app1, system will create rule sets like this. App1 is the organization application rule sets. App1 int is integration rule set. So if you create one more application on top of same organization, if you see here, so we'll create this one. App2 is my application rule set. App2 int is my application integration rule set, and ABC is same again. So while building application 1, I stored some rules in ABC. So the same rules will be applicable here also. We don't need to create them again. That is called reusability. So if you don't maintain multiple rule sets, so there is no option creating it. So even if you want to reuse application 1, again the security is missing. Let's say I'm maintaining only one rule set, like application rule set app1, and remaining rule sets are not there. I'm creating application 2. So let's say you want to use application 1. Already some rules are there and you want to use that. You can use that, but along with that you are also exposing unnecessary rules to application 2. They may misuse them. So we want to hide application specific rules. We don't want to club. We don't want to expose the rules specific to application. We don't want to expose specific to application rule set, but we want to expose only organization rule set, because organization is a common for each and every application. So we can expose that, there won't be any issue. But this application cannot see this application rule specific rule sets. So application 2 cannot see application 1 specific rule sets. They can see only organization rules only, because anyway those are common, so anybody can see that. That is a global in nature. But application 1 rules, application rules are specific to that application. So that application 1 cannot see application 2 rule set rules, and application 2 cannot see application 1 rule set rules. So that is why system is creating 4 rules set. Again, so where do we need again 2 rules sets are enough, right? Application or organization rule set. Again, to differentiate the normal rules with the integration rules, system creating integration rule sets as well. If you are building any integration points, we don't want to store in the generic rule set. I want to store those rules in the application integration rule sets. So as a developer, you need to make sure that system won't stop you. So you can store any rule in any place, but during development, so while saving the rule, you need to think about where I need to save this rule. Am I creating generic rule, or am I creating integration rule? I'm creating some integration. So if you're creating any integration points or integration related stuff, you need to save them into integration rule set. You need to save them into integration rule set, and if that is specific to application. So if you're creating any integration points at the organization level, you can store them in the which are applicable for its entire organization. You can store that in the organization integration rule set. So we are storing different rules in different places, and then how can the system will pick up during runtime? So that is why stack is important, because now there is a rule set stack. This is the rule set. The stack indicates that where the rule set is present in the stack. The stack will be always like this. So on top, application rule set should be there. On below, integration rule set will be there. On below, organization rule set will be there. On below, organization integration rule set will be there. So generally, it will be given number in the system. I will show you that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you create the application, system will create these rule sets. We don't need to modify it, and the stack is also prepared like this. And the application when you create the application, the stack will be prepared like this. So what this exactly means that the first numbered rule set rules, the first number, whatever is there on the first number, that rule set rules can reuse all the rules for the below number rule set rules. That means that first number rule set rules can reuse the rules from the 2, 3, 4, 5. And second number rule set can use all the rules from 3, 4. Third number can use from 4. That means that application rule set can use all the rules from the organization rule set. So that is how the stack is, the system is behaving. That is why stack is important. By mistake, if you change the stack like this, if you move this one on the top, so application rule set cannot use the below number, right? So let's say by mistake some developer modified this one like this. and this is on the top. So now what happens? This application rule set cannot use the rule set from the top. So whatever the below is, whatever the rules are there below, only from those rule sets the top rule set can use. But here I am moving this organization rule set to on the top. That means that organization rule set can use the application rule. We are changing the functionality of the application. Here actually this will behave like this. Organization rule set can use the rules from the application rule set. That is a violation of the generic definition. So always application should use the organization specific rule set. So the stack should not be modified. So even by modifying, you should be very careful. With care only, you should modify the stack. So let's see where all this information is available in the system. So creating and everything is very simple. It won't take more than 2 minutes for creating and doing this stuff. First we will see the stack. So for that reason I will take the existing application, because we didn't create any new application for our batch. So I will take the existing application and I will show you that one. So I'm logging it as demo. Demo is my organization name here, and a demo app is the application name for me in this application. This is all about how system is behaving or how is system is running internally. We don't need to create this one. So once the application is done, we want to concentrate only on the features building. So this is internally anyway system will maintain, but sometimes we may need to modify these things. That is why we are discussing the core concepts. So let's say if you want to see the stack, you can go to application menu and click on the open application. When you click on the open application, application is also a rule. System will create one rule with application, and here you can see the stack. Rule set stack. Demo application is my rule set application. You can see my application name is demo app APPL, and you can see here numbering is there. This is called rule set stack. This is called I'll take it here. So this is the stack. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbering is there, and here demo APPL is my application name, and demo is my organization name. You can see application rule set demo APPL, application integration rule set APPL int, organization rule set demo end. This is by default will be created. UIK, that is for managing that is system will create. It's not related to application. For each application created on Pega 7, this will be included in the rule set stack for managing the UI user interface. Okay, so 4 rules are created: demo APPL int, demo int. So you can see the numbering as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is called stack. The stack is very important during runtime. So if you change the stack by mistake, you can also change it like this. You can just drag on the top. If you change the stack, the meaning of the stack will change. So some of the rules we cannot execute in the runtime. So this will dictate the runtime behavior of the application. On the top, on the first number, always the application rule set will be there. Or else you can name it anyway, but you need to understand that the first number rule set rule can reuse all the rules from the below number rule set rules. The second number rule set rule can use all the rules from the 3, 4. The third number can use all from 4, 5, 6, 4 from 5, 6, 5 from 6. So reverse is not possible. That means that, let's say I will take a simple example here. So some rule is there in the application rule set. Let's say X is there, and here Y is there in the organization rule set. And then I want to find summation of X and Y in the application rule set. So I create summation rule, one more rule summation So I can create like this x plus y. So there is no issue because as per definition, the first number rule set rule can reuse all the rules from the below number rule set rules. So the organization rule set is below only, so I can use the y without any issues. But if I create the summation here, let's assume by here I am not creating summation. I am creating summation here in the organization rule sets. Now what happens? So x is not available for this because the third number rule set cannot reuse all the rules from the above stack. So it will give an error saying that x is that the rule x cannot be seen. You will get an error. The rule x cannot be seen or is not available. So the reusability will be missing from the if you create the rules in this one. So you based on the definition you should create the rules. So sometimes system this is generally happens while creating the for the newcomers. So what they will do, wherever they want they will create it. They don't observe the where they are saving the rule. While saving the rule, generally let's say I am creating some simple rule, property rule. So while saving the rule, system will ask you the rule set where you want to store. So without observing that one, people will start saving some wherever they want. They don't observe where they are saving, and then while building the logic, they face some issues saying that so rule is not found, and they come to know that they come to like so rule is available, but system is saying rule is not available because this in that case this will occur. People start creating some rules here and some rules here, and they build and here they refer the rules from this application rules stack. Definitely system will show an error saying that rule is not available only. So you can see add to rule set. So here all the rule sets will come. So you should be very careful while saving the rule. So if you have any issues, save the rule, all the rules in the application rule set only. Don't go for different rule set, different versions. If you don't have a clarity what is the purpose of this rule set, save all the rules in the application rule set only, there won't be an issue. If you save some rules here and some rules here and you are building the logic in demo application and there you are referring application rule set rules, then you will get an issue. Even rule is available, system cannot see that because the stack is different. While saving the rule, and it may be any rule, it might not only property, it may be any rule. So with care, you should save the rule like where you are saving it. You need to see it. And based on the functionality, you should have some vision. So this rule is applicable to organization or this rule is applicable to only application. Based on that, you need to select the rule set here. And then save it and it will be stored into that rule set. While saving the rule, every rule will be, you need to create in, you need to save the rule in rule set only. So this is like stack. So if you want to create new rule sets, let's say on top of demo application rule set, I want to create my own specific rule set. Okay, in that case what I can do, on top of that, that's how to decide in the stack where it is applicable. So I want to use application rule sets. If you want to use application rule set rules, definitely should be on top of that one only. So I am creating on top of that one only based on the requirement. I am saying if you want to use only organization rule set, right? And you don't want to use application rules. In that case, you can go for here. If you go here, what happens? You cannot use application rule set rules because this is number 3. Number 3 cannot use from 1 to. Number 3 can use for below numbered 1, 4, 5, 6. Right? So based on the reusability, which rules you want to use? Do you want to use application rules or do you want to use organization rules? So do you want to use only integration rules? Based on that, you need to move this one wherever you want in the stack. Here I want to use application rules, so I am going on top of that one. So test application, test app rule set. The rule is available, system will open like this. So because this rule is available, when I click this magnifying symbol, system will open the rule set. This is the existing rule set, system will open like this. You can see this is the version 010101 is there, 010102 is there. Okay. Now if you want to create the patch version, this is like creating the version. Once the rule set is created, system will be like this. And if you want to create the patch version, so just click this plus symbol. System will automatically create the next version 010103. You can see you don't need to, if you want to modify the version, patch version you can modify, but don't modify the major and minor version. Okay, don't modify the major and minor version. System will accept that, but as a developer should not modify that major and minor version. If I want to modify major and minor version, should go for skimming only. Okay, here I'm changing just patch version, so you can change to 03 or else 05, whatever you want. System will always go for next version. Let's create it. Creation is very simple. This is creating the version. And if you want to create the rules altogether, a new rule set, so just give new rule set name and click this magnifying symbol. If it is not available, system will create it. This is the creating the rule set. It's not opening. So if it is available to be open like this, if it is a new one, system will create it. So by default, system will take the first version 010101 and create and open. This is also same again. So you can see 0101 by default will be created, and if you want to create the patch version, click the plus symbol again. So creation is very simple, and if you want to skim it, so once the development is over, generally when do we go for skimming is once the development is over, and if you want to release the product into market during release testing, we will skim it. So for doing the skimming, you can go for Designer Studio, landing menu, and system, and then refactor, and then you can see rule sets. Remove the path, system, refactor, rules. We are refactoring the rule sets. Go for rule sets. This is the path. So I will just take the screenshot if you want. Skimming path. Okay, we're running out of time. Give me here. So here you can see skim rule set. So you can go here. This is a tool again. So just need to select. You can see major version rule set scheme, minor version rule set scheme. So based on that, if you want to go for major, so for each and every rule set you need to do. So first you need to start with application rule sets, or else you can start with organization rule set. Starting organization rule set from major 01 is there. So from 01 I want to increase it to 02, like this. Two major new version is 02, 01 to 02 I am increasing. If it is a minor version, you can see major version is disabled now. So you need to increase the starting version is this one, ending version is this one, and new version is 001, 02, 01. This is the new version. So I'm increasing the minor version here. I'm not increasing the major version. So skim it. Now what happens from this rule set? From this rule set, right? Whatever the rules are there in the demo rule set, whatever the rules. Here you have only one version. That is why system is not showing. If you have 99 up to 99, system will show all them in the drop down. So in the skimming tool, the skimming tool here I'm ending version is there, right? Let's take a demo APPL. You will see that one. You can see. So it will show all the versions available in that application in that rule set. So whichever the rule set you want to skim, select the ending version. If it is 99 is available, always select the highest version. If you have 99 version or 80 something, highest version is available. Ending version should be highest version. Then all the rules will be skimmed from all the versions and will be stored in the destination rule set version. Okay. If you want to increase the major and minor version, so you need to go for skimming. If you want to increase the patch version directly, increase the patch in the by creating this plus symbol. Okay. 1 second here. So that is about skimming rule set versions, and where do we need versioning, where do we need stack, what is the importance of stack. So this is all about rule sets. Any doubts here? So these things won't come in the basic level certification. This is very advanced level. During LSA level we will discuss all these topics like stack and skimming, all those things. But this is just for if you want to work in real-time projects, this kind of things we require, because during development if you face certain kind of issues, you should be in a position to manage that one.
Subhash, Venkat here.
Yeah.
What about demo application and demo application INT means? Is it INT means integration related?
Yes, INT stands for if you want to create any integration rules. So we have just in application sometimes we want to create an integration REST web services, web connectors you will create, right?
Okay.
So if you're creating integration rule sets, integration related rules, store them in the integration rule set.
If it's data related?
Or it may be any other thing other than integration, you can store them in the generic rule set. Demo
Oh,
application rule set. Only integration rule set rules you can store it into integration rule set. That is only recommendation. So system, I mean for system all are after all are rule sets only. As a developer, you should make sure you should ensure that one. Whether it is integration rules or data rule set. So only integration rules will go to integration rules, all other rules will go to generic rule set only.
okay. Organization rule set means what kind of rules they will create at organization rule set level?
See, anything, it may be any rule. Again, there is no, I mean whatever you have in Pega, you can create all the rules in the organization rule set, but that should be that should be applicable for entire organization, because in the organization I can get any number of applications. If something I have creating 10 applications, in all the 10 applications I have 10, I want to use 10 rules. Okay, so in that case, instead of creating the 10 rules in each and every application, I can create those rules in organization rule set so that each application can reuse that. If any rule is applicable for entire organization, so you can store them in the organization rule set. In general, the logos, organization logos will be stored in the organization rule set, and the logging mechanism will be same for entire organization. That will be also stored in the and customer classes, customer related stuff like customer classes, customer property, because customer information will be same across application, all the applications. So those kind of stuff you can store in the organization level. So it's not like only there's no rule type. I mean, which can go to organization rule set. It may be any rule, but which are specific, which are applicable to entire organization. These are just for indication purpose.
Okay. What about I think actually there are some layers, right? What about division and unit when that will come into the picture?
That we will discuss in the classes topics. So
Enterprise class structure
yes, next
session.
classes we'll discuss that one.
Okay.
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 Okay then.
And then one more question. Rules is stack actually. So
Rule is?
repeat. Stack means stack means the order you're saying?
Yes, stack means order only. Rule set stack means rule set order.
Okay.
Stack is nothing but order only. So the order is important here.
Okay.
So change the order, automatically the runtime behavior also will change.
Okay. Suppose if you want to add any standard rule set, so can we go to add rule set and we could add ourselves?
Yeah, that's what I shown, right? You can just add the rule set plus symbol, will create it.
Okay. After that, we could change the order also, right? As far as
wherever you want, so based on the requirement. So based on the nature of the rule set you are creating, based on that you can keep it in a corresponding style wherever applicable.
Okay. Here include a parent and require password to update application. What does it mean?
So that is definitely different. So you are clubbing all the things. We'll see one by one. I don't want to club everything in the single session. So if you have any doubts in the related to rule set, just ask here. Otherwise, we'll discuss the remaining things in later lessons.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for everything.